All right. So the feedback is due 1 p.m. or sorry, before the start of next class. The feedback will be due. All right. But now on to JavaScript, right? So from the pre-work, what is JavaScript and why is it useful for us? Let me move this page down here.
Are you sharing your screen, Mac?
Oh yeah, and let me share my screen. That'll help. All right, so what did you get from the pre-work? What is JavaScript? We're going to spend an incredible amount of time learning it. So what is it and how does it make our websites better for our clients? Any thoughts there, Paul?
What's JavaScript? Just a programming language, and it gives interactivity to the web pages.
Yeah, that's going to be our key word. Perfectly said, Paul. Fuels interactivity. But then the question becomes, well, what is interactivity? So on a site like, we could do Google. On a site like Google, what are some interactions your clients can make? Demi?
Click, type, submit, sign in.
Yeah, the big one here are sign in for sure, and then searching. So yeah, this would be a big interaction right here. How about on YouTube, right? What are some interactions on YouTube? Antonio?
I don't know, share button, like.
Yeah, for sure. So the ability to right here share. And what else do you see? What other interactions?
Play, pause, increase volume.
Yeah, those are actually all interactions as well. Yep. What are
like and subscribe?
Yeah. So almost everything you do on YouTube is an interaction, right? That probably requires JavaScript. Although, remember our tool from last time? I actually was playing with this before lecture and disabling JavaScript on all these sites. And it's kind of amazing how adaptive they are. Some of them, right? YouTube is not. Look at this. So YouTube is totally not functional without JavaScript. You just can't use it at all. But surprisingly, there was some sites where you could use them. I think Amazon was like still functional for me, which blows my mind because JavaScript is so necessary for. I mean, every time I build a website, it's like every interaction you need JavaScript. So dog, flea, collar. Let's see if we can search. Yeah, look at that. So no JavaScript and this is still functioning, which is really amazing. So they must have done a lot of work to make that happen. Anyway, normally JavaScript is what's going to allow us to fuel all those interactions. So comments, likes, uploads, payments, everything we do for the modern internet, right? Okay, so how do we use JavaScript? We're going to create a new file called index.js. And then the HTML has to now know about the existence of this JavaScript file. So in our head tag, we're going to put script. We're going to choose this source one. And we're going to point it to our JavaScript file. So now when Chrome reads this HTML, it will go ahead and download this JavaScript file as well from the script tag on line 8. And then the first thing I should probably show you is, maybe the very first thing I can show you is, what does that double slash mean? What does that double slash mean? Demi?
sorry, lost my mute button. That's commenting.
Yeah. So if we want part of the code to be ignored by the JavaScript engine, whoops, we can write the double slashes, right? So this is useful for putting notes in your own code that'll be ignored. Yeah, just notes for you and other developers. But the first thing I want to show you is console.log. So this is going to be a very important function which the developer, us, can use to send messages from the running code. So this is kind of weird, right? So if I say console.log and then I can put anything in the argument here, like I guess we'll say hello world, right? That's what everyone starts with. And then when I press save, this code will run and it outputs, whoops. Okay, I have a bug. Oh, does anyone realize my bug?
You turned off JavaScript.
Yeah, I got to turn JavaScript back on, right? There we go. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. So we can send messages to ourselves from the console. Okay. Questions on console.log? Okay. The next important concept I want to talk about are variables. So in your pre-work journeys, did you run into variables, Antonio?
Variables, like let, var, and const. Those
Yeah,
aren't
so we
variables,
declare a new
it is, okay.
variable with let or const. That's some good information. But what is it? What is a variable?
They assign a value.
Yeah, so a value that can change. Stored.
Also,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have a question. What's the difference between let and var?
Var is kind of older syntax that we're not going to use, but we will talk about let versus const.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can actually talk about that now. So the mental model I'd like you to have is like an empty box in a computer's memory that holds a value, and that value can change, right? So let's declare a new variable called x and give it the value of 100, right? And we can output that value to the console. That's not a problem, right? So that's nice. But I said it's a value that can change, right? Was the definition of a variable. So we can change this value by just redeclaring it. So now what will we see in console.log? Dennis?
We'll see the 50.
Yeah, we'll see 50, right? Because we changed the value. So that's let. Let allows the value to change. The problem is, though, if we use const, like its name implies, it's constant. So when I try to run this code, what do we predict will happen?
It's going to be an error.
Yeah, there's going to be an error, assignment to constant variable. Yeah. So once we declare something with const, we can't redeclare it. So that's going to be the difference between let and const. The next important concept is going to be data types. So what did you learn about data types in your pre-work journey? Eston?
That there are different kinds. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over the strings, right? drawing a blank for some reason.
Strings, yeah, we have another one in the code right there.
Numbers?
Yeah. And today there's one final one we're going to touch on, which is Booleans. So we already saw numbers here, right? But we can easily change this. Well, we can make a new variable called student and store a string, right, of Eston. And then we can console.log student. And then finally, we also can have a Boolean value, which could be true or false. So here, Eston is present, so I'll say true. And question? Oh, no? Okay. Yeah, so then we can have Booleans as well. But really, the main reason why we have different types of information the computer can recognize is because of operators. So operators will change the value of one or more operand, I guess. So it'll kind of transform values into other values. So let's take a look at that, right? So we have operators. And we have the kind of operators that you're probably very familiar with. So this first one is called a mathematical operators. And these are going to function just like you would assume, right? So what will we see in the console output here? Femi?
8.
Yeah, exactly. So the plus operator combines these two numbers and gives their sum, right? But what if these aren't numbers? That's when the type of data type becomes really important, because in this case, because they're both numbers, JavaScript knows what to do with them. But what if instead these are students, right? What do we think the output's going to be now?
I think it's just going to be Eston plus Femi or an error.
What was your first guess?
It's just going to stay Eston plus Femi.
Yeah, it's going to be Eston, Femi all squished together. And this is referred to as concatenation. Adding two strings together. So look, same plus operator, but it had very different use cases, whether they're a number or a string. So the data type is very important. What questions are there on data types or concatenation? So the other type of operator we have comparison operators, which are also really important, right? So here we have things like greater than. So this comparison operator will return a Boolean. And in this case, what Boolean will it return for line 30? Rowan?
It'll return it as false.
Yes. So this is referred to, this little piece of code is referred to as an expression. And this expression will evaluate to 10 greater than 20, and that'll evaluate to false. So then we'll see false in our console. There's some other comparison operators. So we have strict equality, triple equals. So what do you think we'll see for this console.log? Cesar?
False.
Yeah, we'll see false. Yep. We have another operator that's pretty cool. It's called the bang operator. And what it will do is flip the Boolean. Yeah, it'll just flip the Boolean, right? So if it's true, it'll flip it to false. So here we will see false, right? So it just flips the sign, kind of. And what other operators do we have? Comparison, bang operator. Yeah. We might come back to more operators, but those are some of the ones we use a lot. Now I want to talk about conditional branching, right? So the way this looks is the structure of this. The computer can make decisions, right, in JavaScript. And we write that by saying if, and then in parentheses will be some Boolean or expression. And if in the parentheses is true, we'll run this code. And if it's false, we'll run this code. And you can see that it's grayed out right now because it's never actually going to run. So in this situation, which console.log will we see? Josephine? Are you there, Josephine?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see, but I think it's line 37.
Well, the line 37 is blank.
Oh, so then 30, what line is? 38 through 39.
Yeah, exactly. So if this is true in the parentheses, then that code will run, right? So we see that. So what if we use the bang operator before this true? Which code will run now? Paul?
Line 41.
Yeah. So another really important concept is every value that's not a Boolean can be converted to a Boolean. And if it converts to true, it's referred to as truthy. And false, it's referred to as falsy. Right? So here, this is kind of weird. But what if I just put the number 100 in the parentheses here?
I think it's true.
Yeah, so numbers convert when they're converted to Booleans, they convert to true. All numbers except 0 are truthy. So that means when they're forced to be a Boolean, like this situation, this will convert to true and this will run. Except 0. So 0 is converted to a Boolean and it's falsy, so this runs. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna ask, why is 0 falsy? Is that just like a behind the scenes JavaScript?
Yeah, that's just the creation of JavaScript decision. Yeah,
Gotcha, okay.
There's no fundamental reason why. Yeah. So all strings are truthy except the empty string. So what do you think about this, Femi? Which line will run?
All strings are truthy. It's 43.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. And let me try to be really tricky, right? How about this, Rohan?
Falsy.
All strings are truthy except an empty string. Is this an empty string?
Oh, no, so truthy.
Yeah, that one's tricky though. Yeah. Very important concept though. Every value is truthy or falsy. Any questions on that?
And if you have like multiple spaces in between the quotes, it'll still be falsy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because this is still just one string. Yeah.
No, if it was just blank and you had a couple of spaces.
Oh no, blank is a character, so that's not empty.
This would be true.
Yeah, it's truthy. Okay. Let's use our skill to do the first challenge, right? So I want a program that asks a user their age, and if they are 21, says, come on into the bar. And if they're under 21, tells them to go home. So to do this, I want to show you a function we're going to use called prompt, which will ask the user for some information. So prompt, I can say anything here, like hello world, and it will show a dialogue to the user. But the cool thing with prompt is the user can now type something in and press OK, and it'll go back to the code. So here I can say, how old are you? And I can save this in a variable called age. And if I console.log age, I can see what the user put, right? So if they put 41, I see that in my console. So prompt is like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty convenient. It's more a pedagogical tool we're going to use than really what you're going to use in production, but it is a very useful tool for where we're at. Easily we can get user, interaction, input. So anyone brave enough to using prompt, how can we make this program that asks how old they are, which we already did. And then, yeah, if they're 21 says come in. If they're under 21 tells them to go home. Yeah, Demi.
I'll give it a shot. If age is greater than or equal to 21, that's one too many equals. Alert. Oh, sorry. Curly braces, alert.
We're just going to console.log, but yeah.
Okay, console.log. Come into the bar. Else, console.log. Go home, child.
Yeah. How old are you? I am 41. I can come into the bar. Very nice, right? But my nephew tries to come. How old is he? I have a bunch of nephews. I think one of them's 9. He clicks OK. Go home, child, right? Questions on this first mini program. So we've created like a bouncer program already, just using these few little lines. Okay, let's go for one more, right? So I only will run outside if it's both above 40 degrees and the wind is less than 10 miles per hour. So how can we design a program? Design a program that asks me for the temperature and wind, and then tells me if I should go run or not. Dennis, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so do we have to input the temperature and the wind speed for the prompt?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. Let condition, maybe we can say that.
Condition?
Yeah,
Okay.
equal prompt. Let's see, what is temperature and wind speed?
Oh, if we try to do two at once, that'll be really hard. Let's just do one
Oh, okay.
at a
Okay,
time.
what is temperature?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let temperature. What is temperature? Let's see. Okay, and then if we can put if temperature is greater than or equal to 40, yes, console.log the temperature okay to run.
Okay, that's great. That's fine. But does that do all the specs of the project?
No, we still need more. We still need
Okay.
the wind.
Okay. You want to take us through more or get some help?
Let me see. I'll get some help.
Okay. Eston, where do we go from here to finish this off?
I was thinking instead of console logging temp okay to run, if it's true, right? If it's above 40, then we prompt what's the wind like? I don't know how do you ask that.
What's the wind like?
And then okay, we declare that let wind equal prompt what's the wind like? Else for the if it's falsy, right, then we would bring back console log and then a string burr, it's cold. Yeah, burr don't run. But then from here, right, we have to. Can we do another if statement?
We can, yeah.
Okay, so if wind is greater than or equal to 10, oh, sorry, less than or equal to 10, then, console log, lace up and go for a run.
All right, let's check it out, right? So what is temperature? The temperature is 70. And the wind is 3 miles per hour. Lace up, run. Very nice, right? What if the temperature is 70, but the wind is 20? No message. So we found a bug. How can we get through that, Femi?
Wait, so the wind is less than. All right, only run outside if it's both above 40 degrees and the wind is less than 10. Sorry, the bug again was it was above 40, but it was less than 10, right?
Yeah, so The temperature is good, but the wind is too strong, and there's no message to me.
Temperature is good. Wind is too strong.
So we're right here in the code.
I guess we need another if or else if.
Yeah, you tell me. What do you think?
Yeah, else if, I guess.
Else if? Okay.
But if wind is, wait, 40 degrees.
I think we're getting a little off track. Let me, does anyone have a refactor they think would make this simple?
We can use the double ampersand.
Yeah. So let's move this out, right? And then here we can use a new operator called the double logical AND operator, where we can say two conditions need to be true, right? So temperature greater than 40 and
okay,
wind is less than or equal to 10. Now this is way simpler, right? What is temperature? 70. What is wind? 5. Laced up run. The temperature is too cold and the wind is too high. Brr, don't run. So this is kind of way simpler, right? Because of this logical AND operator. So for this to return true, this expression, this first one has to be true and the second one has to be true.
Gotcha. It tripped me up because I thought I don't know why, I just thought you mentioned we weren't going to use the AND operator. So I was trying to figure it out without it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's valid. That's valid. And yeah, I wanted to actually go through both so we can see that you can nest if statements as well.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is just cleaner. All right, questions on that? So that will get you through the first assignment. Let's take a look. Make sure there's nothing, no surprises. Intro to JavaScript. Yeah. So you're going to build a rock, paper, scissors. You're going to make a clone of this game. And you can play it a bunch to see how it works. But I'll leave you with the surprise. But it's going to be a lot of prompt and if statements. That's it. Oh, there's actually one operator I need to show you though. I'm glad I looked. So there's a very important operator we didn't cover yet. And that's called the type of operator. Does anyone know what that does? It's kind of simple, but it'll be important for this assignment.
I guess it checks to see what operator it is.
Yeah, it'll just simply return the data type of the value. So here, if X is that, what will we see in the console? Rowan?
It's a number.
Yeah, so we'll literally see the word number. What other data types do we have, Cesar?
Boolean and
Yeah.
strings.
So here we'll see what in the console?
Boolean.
Yep. And then finally, strings. Yeah. So you will use this operator in the assignment today. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Breakout rooms.